Welcome to all of you. In this lecture, let us have a look back into what we had gone through in the previous lectures in a very brief manner. Then let's have a details about the properties of the DFT, that is a tabulation of all the properties in one set. Then we are going to have a study of the periodicity property. Before having a look back into what we had gone through, let us go through this particular calculation. Statement: find the DFT of a sequence x of n is equal to 1 for n 0 to 2, 0 otherwise for n is equal to 4. Plot the magnitude and phase of the result. Let us first identify the sequence. So the sequence will have the value 1 between the n value 0 to 2. So that means first three values of x of n will take this value 1. In continuation it will take 0. Total number of values will be equal to 4. Therefore the sequence x of n will become 1 1 1 0, and the sequence length n is equal to 4. This n is equal to 4 is given in the question itself. Our main aspect here is to plot the magnitude as well as the phase. Therefore the DFT calculation is not shown over here. You are supposed to make the DFT calculation either by making use of the DFT formula or the matrix relation of the DFT for n is equal to 4. By making use of that, we are going to get the DFT representation x of k is equal to 3 minus j, 1 and j. Now we need to calculate the magnitude as well as the phase. It is advised not to make the manual calculation of it. We can make use of the calculator directly. There we are going to get the both magnitude and the phase in a simultaneous manner. By making use of that process, I have derived this magnitude x of k magnitude is equal to 3111. Then x of k phase angle of x of k is equal to 0 minus 1.5708, 0 1.5708. So this phase is in terms of the radians. So we can calculate this in terms of the radians or in terms of degrees. Both are going to have the correct answer, but the values are going to change. For radians we are going to get values something like this, whereas in case of degrees we are going to get the angle, we are going to get that in terms of degrees, something like 90 degree or something like that. We are going to get the answer. So in both of them we can keep, and both of them are going to be the correct answers. But most preferred is radians, because as a part of the lab we are going to calculate the magnitude and the phase with respect to the program. There we are going to get the answer in terms of radians. Therefore I am going to represent here also in terms of radians. Now plotting those magnitude as well as the phase over here. So x-axis is the n value. Total number of values are 4. Starting from 0, 1, 2, 3 we are going to have. Y-axis is going to be the amplitude. So first amplitude value is 3. So at location 0 we are going to have the value 3. At location 1 we are going to have the value 1. So 1 is over here. At location 2 we are going to have the value 1. Again 1. So at location 3 we are having the value 1. So amplitude value 1 we are going to have. So this is the magnitude plot we are going to have. Coming to the phase plot, in the similar way of the magnitude plot we are going to have the phase plot. At location 0 the value is 0. You can observe over here. At location 1 it is minus 1.5708. So that is represented over here. At location 2 it is 0. At location 3 it is again 1.5708. That's what is represented over here. So this is what we call the magnitude plot, and this one is the phase plot we are going to have. Let us have a look back into what we had gone through in the major part. So DFT, IDFT representations we had gone through. So DFT representation, it is given by x of k is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1. x of n omega n nk for all the values of k from 0 to n minus 1. IDFT is given by x of n is equal to 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k omega n minus nk for all the values of n ranging from 0 to n minus 1. Then we are going to have the matrix relation of the DFT. The matrix relation of the DFT, remember, it is only for n is equal to 4, not less than 4 or greater than 4. It is exactly for n is equal to 4 we are represented, and the same is being given here also. So for n is equal to 4, the matrix relation of the DFT is given by this matrix representation. For n is equal to 4, the IDFT matrix is represented like this. Now let us get into the properties of the DFT. So let us first go through the complete listing of the properties of the DFT. It is good that if we are going to have this tabulation something like this, it will be easy for us to remember. Once we can remember the statement, it is easy for us to make the derivation also. Therefore, first I am going to make a listing of the properties in a tabulation. Then we will start taking one after the another for the proof of each of those properties. So let us go through this tabulation. So this side, the left side, is completely the property name we are going to have. On the right side, we are going to have the statement for that particular property in a short form. Starting with the first one, the periodicity property. If x of n plus n is equal to x of n, then x of k plus n is equal to x of k. Then linearity property, DFT of a x1 of n plus b x2 of n is equal to a x1 of k plus b x2 of k. Symmetry only for the real valued sequence, that means input will be always in real value. X conjugate of k is equal to x of n minus k, or it can also be represented as x conjugate of n minus k is equal to x of k. Then multiplication of two DFTs and circular convolution, x1 of n circularly convolved with x2 of n is equal to x1 of k into x2 of k. So it is equivalent to multiplication in frequency domain is equal to convolution in time domain. That is what the property we are going to have. Time reversal, also known as circular folding. DFT of x of minus n with respect to n is equal to x of minus k with respect to n, that is equal to x of n minus k. Circular time shift, DFT of x of n minus m with respect to n is equal to omega n mk into x of k. Circular frequency shift, also known as multiplication by exponential in time domain, DFT of omega n minus ln into x of n is equal to x of k minus l with respect to n. Complex conjugate, also known as DFT of a complex conjugate, DFT of x conjugate of n is equal to x conjugate of minus k with respect to n, that is equal to x conjugate of n minus k. The last one, Parseval's relation, also known as the inner product, given by summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n y conjugate of n is equal to 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k y conjugate of k. In a special case, if you make a substitution y of n is equal to x of n, then we are going to get summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 modulus x of n square is equal to 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 modulus x of k square we are going to have. So these are all the listing of the property. Now let us get into the property in detail one after the other. So let us start with the periodicity property. So usually it will be asked like state and prove periodicity property of DFT. Let us have the complete statement of it. let x of n and x of k be the DFT pair. Then if x of n plus n is equal to x of n for all the values of n, then x of k plus n is equal to x of k for all the values of k. Let us start with the proof. So we are going to start with the DFT expression. So in almost all the properties, we have to start either with the DFT expression or with the IDFT expression. In most of the cases, we always start with the DFT expression. In one or two properties, we are going to start with the IDFT. In the simplest manner, if you want to remember, then make a comparison. Once you have the DFT expression, make a comparison with what is there in the DFT expression and what we need to have with respect to the statement. Then you make that one particular substitution in the DFT. Then automatically we will lead to the destination. So it is all about the correct substitution in the DFT expression or in the IDFT expression we need with respect to all the properties, right? Okay, so let us have it. So after one or two properties, you will easily understand this concept. Let us start with the proof. We know that DFT expression we are going to have x of k is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n nk for all the values of k from 0 to n minus 1. Now what we require to prove? We require to prove x of k plus n is equal to x of k. That means in the place of k we need to make the substitution k plus n we have to make. Therefore let k is equal to k plus n in equation 1. We are making that substitution. Therefore where all k present in this complete DFT expression, now it will be equal to k plus n representation. K is present in this location as well as in this location. Total 2 locations. One on the left side, one on the right side. So there we are going to replace that by k plus n. Now let us have this. X of k plus n is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n n. In place of k it is being substituted with k plus n. Now the left hand side will remain the same. We are not going to make any alterations to that because we need it to be as it is. On the right hand side, let us expand this twiddle factor. Summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n nk plus n we are going to have. That bracket has been removed and it has been made as separate terms. Now we can still further simplify this twiddle factor. That is over here, summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n nk we are going to have the first term, then second term omega n n. So that is the second term we are going to have. Now it is known from our previous lecture that omega n n is equal to 1. Right, so that means this term will be equal to 1. So we will have again clarification in the next slide. Let us have this substitution first. Now we are going to substitute this value is equal to 1 in this particular expression. So from that we are going to get x of k plus n is equal to summation n is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of n omega n nk. So that means if this term is equal to 1 and only this part will be remaining. So that part has been represented over here. Then this part we can simply call it as x of k. This part we can simply call it as x of k. Therefore on the left hand side k plus n x of k plus 1 retained as it is. Right hand side we can simply call that as x of k. So it is being written as x of k. Therefore as per the requirement asked in the statement, we have proved that x of k plus n is equal to x of k. See, periodicity can also be proved in the another on the another side also. Either you make this part as a proof or the previous one what I had shown, that one as a proof. So both of them are going to be a valid representations. So now let us have the statement. Let x of n and x of k be the DFT pair. Then if x of k plus n is equal to x of k for all the values of k, then x of n plus n is equal to x of n for all the values of n. So that means with respect to IDFT, we are going to make a proof for this one, right? Okay, so let us start with the proof. So we know that we are going to have the IDFT expression. So as I told you before, we need to identify that substitution what we have to make. So this is what the substitution we are going to have. So in place of n, I need to put n plus n substitution. Therefore, let n is equal to n plus n in the equation 1. So in place of n, so here is n present and here also n is present. One on the left hand side, one on the right hand side. In both of those two locations, we are going to replace n by n plus n. So here it is, x of n plus n is equal to 1 by n, summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1, x of k omega n minus n plus n into k. Right? So procedurally the previous one and this one remains the same. There we started with the DFT, substituted for k. Here we are started with the IDFT and substituting for n, but the continuation procedure will remain the same. Let us have a continuation. So left hand side we are going to keep it as it is. On the right hand side, 1 by n summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k. Up to this part it will remain same. The twiddle factor, we have just expanded the twiddle factor representation, and in the next step these twiddle factors are separated. This omega n power minus nk one term, omega n power minus kn another term we had taken. We have just splitted that twiddle factor into two terms as per the mathematics rule. Now here we have to observe again this term will be equal to 1, right? So anything in the twiddle factor, if this n as well as there is a term capital N in the power, then the term by default it will become equal to 1. We are going to have the details in the next slide. We will go through that later. So therefore it is known that omega n minus kn is equal to 1. So in this particular expression, replace this value by 1. What is remaining? Only this much will be remaining. So that is being represented over here. X of n plus n is equal to 1 by n, summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x of k omega n minus n k. So this is what is remaining. This part, the right hand side part, I can simply represent as x of n, because if you want to have the expression for IDFT, that is x of n is equal to, this is what the part we are going to write. So instead of writing this one, I can simply call this as x of n. Therefore left hand side we are retaining as it is, right hand side it will become x of n. Then as per the statement we have proved that x of n plus n is equal to x of n. So now let us identify these terms. What we had taken is equal to 1. In the first periodicity property we had taken omega n n is equal to 1, and in the another periodicity property we have taken this representation and we proved that as this is equal to 1. How it is going to be 1? Let us have a realization of that over here. So this twiddle factor, let us start with this one, omega n n, expand that into the exponential part. We are going to have e to the power of minus j 2 pi n divided by n we are going to have. This n and this n once divides, what is remaining? E to the power of minus j 2 pi n is remaining. Expand that in terms of cosine and sine. We are going to have cos 2 pi n minus j sine 2 pi n. Now keep substituting the value for small letter n, because that is the only parameter that is present over there. Substitute for n, first value n is equal to 0. then it will be cos 2 pi into 0 minus j sin 2 pi into 0, that will be equal to 1. Then again n is equal to 1, that will be cos 2 pi into 1 minus j sin 2 pi into 1, that is once again equal to 1. Make a continuation of that at n is equal to 3. If you make, again it will result will be 1. So that means for all the values of n over here, cos and sin will be simply the multiple of 2 pi we are going to have. So anything multiple of 2 pi is always equal to 1. Therefore, for any case, if we get omega n, that means for a very simplified realization, if we can take, if n is present here and in the power of the Twiddle factor same capital N present over here, then its value is by default equal to 1, irrespective of either small letter n is there or k is there or minus k is there, irrespective of the sign of the another parameter present in the power, its value will always lead to 1 only. Therefore, this value is equal to 1. Further realization has been taken. One more example by taking power is negative, n is there, and term k is there. Another realization we are taking. So again, make an expansion of this in terms of exponential. We are going to get e to the power of j 2 pi kn divided by n. It's n and n once divides, remaining is e to the power of e to the power of j 2 pi k. Expand that into the terms of cos and sin. Cos 2 pi k plus j sin 2 pi k. K is the only parameter we are going to have. Now keep substituting for k. At k is equal to 0, it is cos 2 pi 0 plus j sin 2 pi into 0. Its value is equal to 1. Again at k is equal to 1, it is cos 2 pi into 1 plus j sin 2 pi into 1. That is once again equal to 1. Again, if you want to make a continuation, again it will be simply lead to the multiples of 2 pi we are going to have. So any multiples of 2 pi, so with respect to cos and sin, will always lead to the value 1. Therefore, this Twiddle factor and this Twiddle factor what we discussed previously, they all lead to this value 1. Again, I am reminding you that if n value present over here and same n value in the power of the Twiddle factor is also present, then don't think about the another parameter present in the Twiddle factor. You can simply make that value equal to 1. So that is always true. Therefore, the demonstration for that is given. So power of the Twiddle factor here is positive, power of the Twiddle factor is negative. So in either cases, its value is equal to 1 we are going to have. Right? This is the matter of understanding over here with respect to periodicity. We have discussed these two parameters. So that's why I have specifically taken these two for discussion, and it has been shown it is equal to 1. Thanks for joining.